serving fiends. For work on triple B. On triple B. Big 40 in my jeans.
Welcome to another episode of Hip Hop Hoops. I am your host, Anthony Igadero. I got my co-host with me.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Let's go.
Listen. We got a very special guest with us today.
Royalty.
Very special guest.
Royalty.
Laeticia Amihere is in the building.
Mississauga,
Everybody,
stand up.
let's go.
Let's go.
Yo, what's up? Yo, they're having me out. I'm feeling a little nice. But
Let's go. It's well deserved, man. The journey continues. Let's go.
We are live at Hoops Queens. Listen, this is history in the making. Shout out to Keisha K. The first paid women's league. How's your experience been so far?
I mean, it's crazy. I was talking to my brother. Like, we didn't have this, like, growing up. Like, growing up is kind of hard because you want to look up to role models that are females, that are women. So just being able to see that crowd and people here just showcasing women's basketball here, it's amazing.
It is an amazing thing, man. Listen, if you guys haven't been down here, come down here, Kerr Hall. Listen, the women, they're balling. We got to support our females, man.
Straight up. It's for the culture, man. It's for the culture. Guys and girls, it's a beautiful thing, man. And the competition level out here
is amazing. It's only going to get better every single year, man. So,
straight up. Salute to you.
Listen, I want to get into it, man, and I want to talk about, you growing up in Mississauga, like, what inspired you to play basketball?
Honestly, I'm from African descent. So my mom, my dad, Ivory Coast, Ghana, it's soccer. So I grew up playing soccer. But
so you already had the footwork. You already had the footwork on lock.
I had a little advantage, I know how to play light on my feet.
Yes.
But, I was tall. I was tall and lanky, so people were like, yo, you play ball? I'm like, no, I play soccer. Like, yo, what? But growing up, my brothers here, my two older brothers, they played basketball around, so that's kind of what I started doing.
Nice.
Did you have any, who were some WNBA players you looked up to? Were there any?
Definitely Candace Parker. Definitely Candace Parker just because of the length. And when I started playing basketball, I want to play point guard, I want to play point guard because that's where the highlights at.
Yeah.
But obviously I was tall, so I was playing in the post. But Candace Parker did a little bit of both.
Yeah, and you're doing a bit of both as well, man.
Absolutely.
Point forward out here.
Absolutely. Did you ever look up to your coach, your legendary coach that you have now, Don Staley?
I actually did it when I was younger, just because I wasn't in the ball community like that. You know what I mean? But then when I started getting recruited, I was like, yo, she's a legend.
Straight legend. So, basketball, rep basketball has taken off in the GTA. How was your experience hooping with the Mississauga Monarchs?
Yeah, that's the grassroots level. I mean, that's kind of where it all started. I played with the Monarchs the first time. My story, actually, I played the development league. So it's my parents couldn't afford the big league. So I played development league. I played every Sunday.
Right.
I played a little hour there, and then I was balling, and I was ready to go home. So just kind of starting my career there, and then just continuing with them.
So you went from development to rep?
Yeah, I started development. I think I played a month there, and then the coach saw me. He's like, "Yo, you want to play rep?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to play rep."
Yup.
So then that's kind of how it started.
Yup. Any coaches you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, definitely. I always shout out Kenny because he's the one that was there and that kind of introduced me to basketball. So definitely Kenny.
Definitely. Shout you out, Kenny. Shout out the Mississauga Monarchs. Been a staple in the Saga City for a minute in the basketball world, man. Let's go.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your prep school that you attended in Oakville. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, so for me, I went to a French school my whole life. My mom's a teacher in a French school, so that's kind of where I was doing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard balancing basketball and academics. When I first started, I used to finish school at 2:30, and I had weights in Toronto at Ryerson at 4.
Nice.
Wow.
So I don't know. Some of you guys don't know the drive. Toronto traffic is no joke.
No joke.
I would get there
Real talk,
sometimes right at 4.
Right.
So I had to find somewhere that I could do both. And then that's why I went to Kings. Just being able to play basketball and do my academics in the same place was something that's important for me.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. I want to point out that the injury that you suffered in the 10th grade, ACL.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that and how did you recover? Sometimes when people get, especially injuries like that, they get depressed. They don't know how to get back into it. How did you get back into it and you're still explosive?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. For me, it was my first injury. Like, I've never rolled my ankle. I've never did nothing with my knee. Like, that was my first injury. And to have such a major injury, that's tough. But my mindset was a little bit different. I remember that summer, I think it was like a year or two before the 2020 Olympics. And that was in my mind. It was like the Olympics. So that's kind of what I was gearing towards my whole recovery.
Got you. I want to talk about development, skill level. I preach this a lot. I'm a big believer in skill development. Where did you see, at what grade did you see your skill level getting up there and you knew like, okay, I can take this game to another level?
I would definitely say the 9th grade is when I really started taking it seriously. Like I said, I was always lanky. I was always that person that was just athletic, right?
Right.
Not much skill, but just athleticism. And I just had that dog in me. So 9th grade, like I started lifting weights. I started really doing stuff. And I think that's when I started taking my basketball game to another level.
And how tall are you in the 9th grade?
Like 6'2", honestly.
Wow.
I haven't grown in a minute, but I've been tall for like my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's an advantage, right? Because you start, getting your coordination together and everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? When did you have your first dunk? What grade was that?
I was rim grazing in 8th grade. And honestly, like, it's kind of crazy to me. Like, I never even wanted to dunk. But my brother, again, like I said, that's one of my biggest role models. He was like, yo, you should try to dunk. And so then I was just playing, like, after every practice, everybody would just gather around. And I would just start trying to dunk. And then when I got my first, like, okay, this is a dunk, like, it was in 9th grade.
That isn't crazy.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So how was your experience at South Carolina?
But before then, I want to go to, like, what made you choose South Carolina? Because
Yes.
And the reason why I'm asking that is because it's like, okay, they were national champions before.
Yeah.
They get like high recruits, McDonald's All-Americans.
All day.
And for you to have that confidence, be like, oh well, I'm just as good as those girls.
Yeah.
What was the process of choosing South Carolina?
Yeah.
And who are the other schools recruiting you?
I actually had like a couple of schools, a couple of the top schools recruiting me. My thing was, even in the beginning, the South is kind of intimidating especially for my mom, just the history that it has with racism and stuff like that. So I was initially not even going to visit South Carolina. But then I convinced my mom because I'm like, yo, like this is a legendary program. So then I ended up visiting. I had 3 official visits. I visited Kentucky, Louisville, and South Carolina.
Nice.
But when I went to South Carolina, like I knew it was where I wanted to be. Don Staley, I always tell this story. When I went to practice, man, like you're expecting, like you have recruits. It's like, okay, like let's just be a little nice. Like no, like she was on her players. She was cussing them out left and right. Like this is business. Like yeah, we got to recruit, but like we got to show her what's up. So that's what I was like, yo, I got to play for her. You know what I mean? Like she's real.
Wow. Listen, Don Staley sounds like she coaches the way she used to play.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
She was a little pit bull.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Straight out of Philadelphia, man. It's so crazy. I love her journey from being at Temple and then going to South Carolina, man. And there was rumors, and I'm glad that she didn't entertain it, but there was rumors that she was thinking about taking the Sixers job.
Yeah.
And she shut down the rumors right away. I can't remember which interview. I believe it was Knucklehead's podcast, I believe. But she shut down the interviews right away, and I'm glad she's staying with you guys in South Carolina, man.
Yeah.
It just seems like a real, like, family.
A match made in heaven, man. It's the perfect fit.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How take us through that whole experience in your first year.
So my first year, I actually went early to college because of my injury.
Right.
So I went in like in January.
So sorry to cut you off. So this is now the second time that you injured yourself.
Yeah.
So on the opposite knee now.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I got injured senior year of high school. I had to expedite my diploma, finish high school early, go to South Carolina. So my first time on campus, like it was my first time being in America for like a minute. You know what I mean? Like you go to America, you play travel ball, but like now I'm in the cut. So everything, the experience, like the food was different. Like being used to soul food and all those different type of things. The first time I was there, I didn't talk to nobody. Like I'm super outgoing. I didn't talk to nobody because I can understand their accent.
Oh.
So like all those different things were playing into play, and you know, I just came out of high school. I just left my family.
That is a crazy transition.
Yo,
It is.
what?
From high school to South Carolina.
Yeah.
No friends, it's just you.
It was hard, but I was in an environment of straight hoopers.
Okay.
And like that's kind of different. Like, you know, sometimes you're in an environment where people like to play basketball, but like I'm in an environment of hoopers and people that want to get better. So that's why it made it so easy for me to just, you know, get to the level I needed to get to because I was just in a great environment.
And it's crazy because South Carolina, if you haven't been to South Carolina, like there's a lot of dirt roads and it's different from the city where we're from.
Right.
Even Mississauga is like New York City compared to South Carolina.
Yeah.
For real,
If
eh?
you haven't been, like South
Yeah,
Carolina,
man.
a lot of dirt roads.
I haven't been.
Very
man.
wild, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
eh?
wild, yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
out the mud wild or like?
Out, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the hardest transition for you being a freshman at college? In college, obviously in high school, you dominated. You know, you were the main person, the go-to girl. What was the toughest transition for you your freshman year in college?
A lot of people would be like, talk about that and say how, you know, you're going in an environment where it's like everybody's great, everybody's a number one, everybody was, you know, McDonald American. But for me, you know, I had a lot of teammates that went to the States, so I kind of knew like how it was going to be. Like I knew it was going to be a cakewalk walking in. I think the hardest part for me was injury. You know, that was my first year. I was coming back. Like once you get injured, you know, that first year is always that, you know, rehabilitative year where you're getting your flow back. So for me, I was like, you know, I was already in that mindset that, you know, I was probably, it's going to be tough. I'm going to a top program, but on top of that, injury, like that kind of slows you down mentally.
Was at any point did you like doubt yourself? Like, man, maybe I should go somewhere else. This is not the right place for me. You know, with having the injury, because that could be tough mentally. Like having an injury and then trying to rehabilitate yourself, and then
in a
you
top
have
program,
all the top players there.
Right.
Any point in time did you ever doubt yourself?
I didn't have time to, honestly. I didn't have
like
time
that line
to.
right there.
The thing is, like, Coach Staley put so much confidence in me.
Yeah.
Like, and I just knew, like, it's a 4-year thing. Like, I'm playing, you know, my freshman year is tough, but, like, she just had that in me that she's like, bro,
You've
like.
seen it long term.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And, like, just looking at, like, the trajectory of, like, players that have been there, like, like, you'll have some people that are dominating all 4 years, but, like, a lot of the players that have been there, like, their first freshman year was tough.
Right.
And then, like, they're in the league now. So, like, just having a coach that has so much confidence and putting that in your ear, I mean, it made it easy for me.
And Coach Staley seems to like, she always puts a battery in your back.
Yeah.
Like she got your back 1,000.
Oh, yeah. On the court, off the court.
So question, you played against Shot this year, well this past season.
That was
That I think everybody in the 6 was tuned in.
everybody.
How was that experience?
Oh, it was great. Like, it was just like, it was weird because I remember a little shy, you know, hooping at Falstaff, and like now I'm playing against her. Like, that's just weird. But it was like one of my first games. Like, I actually started as point guard.
Right.
So I was guarding her, she was guarding me, and we're going through scout. I was like, yo, I got it, because I know exactly how she is, and she knows exactly how I am.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of us, like, where I was waiting for the ball to be inbounded, and we're both, like, smiling, because, like, she was just whispering stuff in my ear, and it was just a good time to play good.
Now, they say this is the golden era for female Canadian basketball.
Yes.
You guys just exemplified that. So I want to shout you guys out and salute both you and Shai for just, and the rest of the females that are doing their damn thing.
Absolutely.
You guys are definitely setting the tone.
And that game was at Duke.
Yeah.
And like, you are a part of how female basketball at this point in time is just like he said, like it is amazing. Imagine playing against, you know, people that you know, went against in high school, and now you're playing against each other at the top level.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Like the top level.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're competing against each other.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
This is just the beginning. I'm calling it from now. You guys are going to see each other in the WNBA.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's just amazing to see how far women's basketball has come. Like, you guys are competing at the highest level. You know, we're at Hoops Queens right
We're
now.
here, man. We're
First
here.
page women's
It's a
league.
vibe right now,
You know
baby.
what I mean? Like, it's amazing, man. I'm for it, man.
Yeah, man.
So let's talk about that, your dunk. The dunk
yeah.
that was heard all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that kind of put everybody on notice.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you kind of opened up the gateway for other females to start dunking. Because after you, a little down the road, I start seeing females dunk in Canada, dunking like crazy.
Yeah.
So bring it back. Like, what was the thought process during the dunk? No, before the dunk, during the dunk, after the dunk.
Honestly, like when I first started dunking, I was shy to do it. I felt like I was a show off. Like I was like, yo, like who's like I'll be in the gym and like all you hear is the rim just shaking. And everyone's turning around like, yo, what's going on?
Right.
And I'd always feel shy doing it. My brother's like, yo, like that's dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like people don't be doing that. So then
not me.
So I started doing it more often, and honestly, the thought process during that time, there was none. I got this deal, and I was like high off adrenaline. I don't know what happened, but like the thing is, like people always want to see me dunk. They're always like, yo, when are you gonna dunk? When are you gonna dunk? So I was like, yo, like I guess I'll give it to them today.
Listen, when I mean you threw that shit down, though, holy, it wasn't a little squeeze.
No.
It was
no squeeze.
It was with force.
Yeah.
Yo, it was the perfect time to do it too. Like, you know, the coaches are there, and, you know, your team is hyping you up. Yo, people are watching like, yo, who's this Canadian team? You know, like when you play in the States, it's like, yo, who's this Canadian team?
Yeah,
you
gotta put them on notice.
You gotta put them on notice.
Facts. Question. I got a question. Bringing it back to development, right? Are you a believer? Because a lot of rep players now in the six, they're playing up.
Yeah.
Right? Some coaches are for it. Some coaches are against it. Are you for playing up, or you develop in practice? Iron sharpens iron in practice. So my question is, to be great, do you have to play up, or you develop your skills as a team in practice?
In my journey, I've never played on my age group team.
Okay.
Like I've literally never have ever played on my age group team, and I'll tell you that is why I am here right now.
All right.
I was like a 8th grader playing against Shea Colley that was going to South Carolina at that time.
Right.
Was I dominating? No.
You're getting
but you know, I was getting roughed up.
Yep.
I was getting a welcome to basketball.
Right.
And kind of having that, like, not only the physicality part, but like the mental part.
Piece.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like learning from, like, you know, the lifestyle.
Right.
Like, I was a young girl, and I would see they would walk in, they would have their protein shake for after practice. They would stretch before practice. Like, I was coming to hoop. That's it. Like,
stretching.
You know, like I was like, I come into the gym, like it's a cold winter. I take off my boots and I'm ready to go. Like, let's go. But they have a routine, and you know, if I was able to play with people my age, that's all I would know. So, like, you know, that I think that helped me grow as a basketball player.
All right, so there you heard it first. Playing up, that is the key.
Yeah.
That is the key.
Yeah.
Agree. I want to talk about Tokyo Olympics. Playing no fans.
That's crazy. How do you even get hyped?
No. So I've been known to call the NBA championship with the Lakers the bubble championship. I've been known, they called me a hater. I said there's a big asterisk beside that championship. You know, no fans.
Yeah.
Tell me, I've never done that before. Even when you're playing runs, there's somebody on the sideline talking trash.
Right.
But no fans? Take us through that experience, man.
Listen, one thing about South Carolina, we got a #1 attendance. So I'm used to playing in front of 12,000 people, you know what I mean? Like, so now I'm coming, not only am I not playing in front of fans, but it's a 16-hour time difference. So my family is like barely watching, you know what I mean? So like, and people are not live, people are not talking about the game because they're sleeping, all those different aspects. So it's like, we're warming up, we're trying to get hyped. We're like, all right, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was tough. Like,
were people warming up with their iPods, like to their music?
The thing is,
AirPods in their ears.
Japan is so innovative.
Right.
They had like sounds of crowd and all these different things. So it was like a little bit, like it was.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, that's the closest they can give us.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is amazing, man. I could never play basketball with no fans.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
I don't recommend.
I want to ask a question about Liana Osei. She's been a friend of mine for a while. She came on the show, supported us. Great interview. What does she mean to you?
Me and Lee go way back. Honestly, I actually didn't know much about her because I wasn't in the basketball community. Like, I just played ball. Right. And I feel like there's a big difference about that. So I met her at Team Ontario. She was one of the assistant coaches. And me and her clicked, you know, we're from the same background. We love basketball. So me and her clicked really well. And then after that, she started training me, coming out to my practices, all those different type of things. And she wasn't only a trainer, but she was ingrained with my family, you know, kind of having those roots. And now, and now she's my manager. So like, definitely having somebody that I could trust. Just having me in my corner, because she's always been doing manager stuff without the title.
So it's like that point guard. You get along well with point guard.
Yo, I love my point guard.
and
I love
great,
my point guard.
Great point guard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You got to. She wants the ball, right?
Straight up. Shout out Coach Lee, man. You got to sprinkle that Jaden Finch in there, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's always repping. Coach Lee, we see you. I think she's back home right now, isn't she?
Yes, she's back home.
I see her. I'm following.
Yeah.
So what is your goal for this upcoming season at South Carolina, man? Repeat.
Last year, definitely main goal is repeat. Like, winning a national championship is one of the biggest highlights of my career.
Yes.
So I want to do that again before I leave. And it's my last year. I'm trying to go to league. I'm trying to get, you know, drafted highly. So I got to put myself in the best position to do that.
Bottom line, you're gonna have the target on y'all back.
Oh.
I hope you're ready.
Oh yeah, the thing is, like, the new transfer rule, you can transfer without sitting down. So people are trying to start their little super teams here and there, but you know, we're ready. We're ready.
What's your thoughts about the transfer portal? Can you talk about that? Like,
the thing is, so like, I do a lot of stuff off the court as well, like within basketball. So I sit on some SEC councils and NCAA councils, and what they do is they get our input as student athletes on these type of rules. So we actually vote on if we want these rules to happen. You know, I've seen a lot of careers like kind of go down because of they're not able to transfer and play right away. You know.
Right.
I'm for it, honestly. We got 4 years, you know, there's no time to sit around and sit down because you want to get in a better situation, right?
Absolutely.
You know, obviously he's going to get taken advantage of. I know last year it was like over 1,000 people in the portal.
Right.
But listen, I like playing against good talent. So, you know, if you got to move to SEC and make a super team, like, let's go.
So another question to add to that, recruits, like from Canada, do you think it's going to be harder? Because now coaches can just dip into the portal.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So what do you got to say? What kind of advice would you give an up and coming baller that's trying to get recruited D1? Like, what are they going to have to do?
It's hard. It's hard right now, especially I know for Canadians last year they didn't get to play because of COVID and all these different type of things. And now people can just get like before it was only grad transfers that they can get. They can play right away. Now they can get anybody.
Right.
So you got to really put yourself out there, honestly.
Okay.
Like, you got to, like, in the transfer portal, like, you got to look at who's in the transfer portal and make that decision based off of that. You know what I mean? Those are things that, you know, I didn't have to look at when I was getting recruited. But like, the game is different. Like, you got to pay attention.
So that's a good point. Do you get access to who's in the transfer portal?
The thing is, like, because of social media, you know everybody in the transfer portal.
Okay.
Asking your coaches, like, the coaches most of them are pretty honest. So it's not only who's getting recruited at my position, like, who are you looking at in the transfer portal? Those are things that are important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, coming up, do your homework. Do your homework, man. You got to do your homework.
Absolutely.
You mentioned WNBA, one of your goals. Is there a specific team that you grew up watching and want to play for, or it doesn't matter?
It honestly doesn't matter to me. I just want to be in the league, honestly.
Good question.
That's it.
Straight up.
What if Toronto got a WNBA team?
Man, honestly, I'm trying to play for the city.
Man.
I'm trying to play for the city.
Listen, we need a team here, man. Let's go.
We gotta make it happen. We gotta make it happen.
I see it happening.
Yeah.
Once you make it to the WNBA, I noticed that you love to give back.
Yeah.
That's like something you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what motivates you to give back? Because you're a part of so many committees. Yeah. Whatever community you're in, you're on a committee that's helping to benefit that committee.
Absolutely.
And then when you come back home, you're doing so much within the community.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the same way. Like, I'm an advocate. I love helping the youth, providing them with like a direction on how to be successful.
Yeah.
Where's your motivation come from?
There's a couple things. Honestly, like this kind of started from my injury. I play basketball every day. I play basketball at all times of the day. If I'm not playing basketball, I'm thinking about basketball.
Right.
And then now I get injured for 6 to 9 months. It's like, who am I, right? What do I have to give to the community?
Exactly.
So once I got injured, I got time to sit down and like, yo, like, what do I want to do in my life? And that I really had time to reflect on those things.
Nice.
And I'm a woman of God. That's something that's really big to me. Faith is big
Yes.
to me. Planting a seed in the community, and in the Bible it talks about Jesus going back as a servant. You know, one of the highest. Like people are like, yo, like you're an athlete, like you're highly talented. Like why are you doing? Like Jesus, what? Like the highest person. Like he goes back to his community. He takes the people that are undeserving, and he takes those people under his wings. So that's what I want to do. You know,
straight up.
My own experience. You know, I was talking about Miss Soccer Monarchs. I didn't have the funds. I didn't have the funds to play rep basketball.
Right.
But like people were able to pull some strings and make it happen for me. So like even with my nonprofit that I'm started, like that's one of the things. Like you know what I mean?
You want to let everybody know what your non-for-profit is called?
Yeah, it's called Back to the Motherland. In French, it's called Retour au Pays Natal.
Yes.
And I've been working on it for a while, but like it's finally, I'm gonna launch it. And I have 2 projects. One coming up, I'm going back to Ivory Coast in a couple of weeks and just giving up some gear and talking to people.
Right.
And then I'll have my own camp at the end of the month in July. A free camp, you know, Mrs. On Monarchs, the minorities, all those different types of people, because it's like we got talent. It's all about access. Like you were talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Access is so important. So I'm so excited to get back, and you know, it doesn't look like a job to me. Like it's something that I owe to basketball. Because you want to do it.
I'm getting chills right now.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I'm getting chills right now in the sense where like you're a bridge. You're a bridge to the resources that the unfortunate can get access to.
Right.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? I feel that there's so many coals in the city.
Yeah.
With the right amount of pressure that we can provide, we can turn them into diamonds.
Right. Like it just needs we just need a coach to come down here, and I promise you somebody's going to get a scholarship. Like
bottom line.
People don't want to come to Canada because they don't know there's not that access, not that bridge. Giving them access, giving them that, you know, spotlight, like I'm telling you, it's gonna change.
Can I get a pound? I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that.
I love the fact that you're giving your time. You're a public figure. You're in the public eye, and it's like I love the fact that you're giving your time. It doesn't. A lot of pros and people don't understand. It's not about money. If you can give your time and just advice for these youth, that goes a long way. Like you said, you are a bridge, and that's amazing. Congrats to you, man.
Straight up.
That's amazing.
Well, given that it's Father's Day, you know what I mean? Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Happy Father's Day.
And you nailed it on the head, man. It's not about the money.
No.
It's all about time.
Yes.
If you can give a little time, it goes a long way, man.
Absolutely.
You know what
Absolutely. I want to talk. NBA Finals just got done. What is your thoughts on what happened? Celtics, Warriors. Were you cheering for any one team, or it didn't matter?
Honestly, I like good basketball. I think Steph Curry needed a ring. I think he needed the opportunity. Kudos for him, MVP, all those good things. But like, I just like watching good basketball. So keep it going.
Keep it going.
I want to ask a question because we've been arguing about this often. So you can settle it for us. I hope you're on my side.
Hope you're on my side.
Is Steph Curry a top 10 player right now?
Yes.
Hey, can I get a pound?
Wait.
He does not believe it. He does not see it.
No.
Why?
He's not.
I would like to know.
It depends on who's in your top 10.
You're talking about right now. You don't think he's top 10?
I don't. I think he needs to do more.
Okay.
He is probably he recruited another top tier player to play with him and win 2 championships.
That's what good players do, you know?
Well, not necessarily. A lot of people try to talk about the Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, they played together. Well, Magic got drafted to the Lakers.
Right.
He didn't get recruited. He got drafted.
Times are different.
So, I don't think, not yet. I think it all depends on who your top 10 is. Yeah. His top 10 is Isaiah Thomas is in the top 10. He's not in mine. So I guess it depends who's in your top 10.
I'm a small guard advocate. You know what I mean? I love my small guards.
And it all depends. Like I'm sure, you probably haven't watched Wilt. I haven't watched Wilt either, but I've watched Magic. I've watched Jordan, like live. Right. So I'm gonna always put those guys ahead.
Isaiah.
So It depends on the era on when you watch.
Yeah, it's hard to compare too. You know, like eras are different. I'm telling you, if during that era, if they could do what they're doing, the finessing and stacking up,
They would have done it.
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 All right, man.
That is it, man. Woods, you have anything else, man?
Hey, Laeticia, thank you. I mean,
We appreciate it, man.
you gave me chills, especially from the community piece. You don't hear a lot of public figures in the basketball world, especially in the city.
Yeah.
They do it, but they don't talk about it. Or
Yeah.
maybe they don't have a platform to talk about it. But you had a platform, you let it be known, and that you're helping the young people, not just in the GTA, but across the globe.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. I'm a fan, been a fan. Do what you got to do this year. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be watching.
But
I
hold on one
appreciate
second.
it.
You have the Global Jam coming up, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
It starts July. Is it 10th?
No, July 5th. To
July
10th.
5th. Okay. Talk about that and are you excited? I guess who you got? Shy, Natasha, all those girls.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's another thing. It's all about access. It's all about providing a platform for these players to play on. So just going back to Canada, it's been a minute since I've been here.
Yeah.
So just coming back and being able to be with my old teammates and stuff like that in the heart of the city. So it's definitely going to be a great time.
Is there going to be any trash talking when you're in there to Shy? Like, listen, waving your shiny new ring. Like,
When me and Shah are on the same team, we're on the same
It's all
team.
love.
So I'm gonna keep it like that. It's all
Yes,
love.
sir.
It's all love
All
till we change that jersey to blue and garnet.
Get your popcorn ready. This is gonna be a battle.
Yes.
Let's go.
Woods, take us out, baby. Let's go.
Well, hey man, you know where to follow us. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Where hip hop meets hoops, man.
Yes.
We're with royalty right here. Thank you.
Yes, and follow her. Follow her on all her socials.
Where
man.
can we follow you on your social media outlets?
_ the Black Queen _
Let's
Always
go.
gotta find the Black
Royalty.
Queen.
Let's
Yes.
Day and night. Last night I had a dream, and it felt so right. In a trap was serving